Welcome back to Into the Blue Channeling with myself, Sarah Evans, and Mary Magdalene is back in the room with me. Today's session we're going to be doing a Q&A just for Mary. So we're going to be talking about all the different topics that you've written in about. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first of all, Mary is greeting everybody listening and watching. She appears very similar, although she has this time some gold coins type thing, like a headdress around her forehead. She says she came more adorned this time. Well, welcome back. She's kind of poking fun at me. My third eye, by the way, is just like on fire right now. She has very intense energy, and she's making fun of me because I still haven't watched the channeling that we did together. It's pushed my comfort zone a little bit. So she's inviting me to do the meditation. I'll have to go look up what that is. Alright, so let's get started then. Let's just have a look at the questions. Okay, so first of all, could we ask, so someone is asking me how you would recommend we strengthen our feminine power in these changing times. How can we strengthen our feminine power in these changing times? She says, stand in your full power. She's showing me her feet firmly planted. She's very tall, standing very tall and very strong, with her arms out like so. In fact, she has kind of like a snake's thing in her hands, but she's standing tall like this. And she says, okay, she's saying that the human experience of feminine power has been greatly diluted over the last few millennia by parties trying to suppress the feminine power. There's a misunderstanding that what is feminine is weak or less than, which could not be further from the truth at all. She says she invites you to engage in everything that you consider to be a strength of the feminine. The obvious example is creation, being a nurturer. But there's many ways to create and many ways to nurture that are coming from a position of divine strength, she says. She wants to remind you as well that you are a creator. Everybody is a creator, whether you're in a male or female body. She says we're in the birthing pangs of the new earth, and this is the perfect opportunity to create the world in which you wish to live in. She also says that she urges you to re-embrace and re-evaluate, she calls it feminine adornments that have declined in popularity She's actually pointing to her headdress, like a veil over her head. She says again that this veil has been much misaligned in recent years. But she says, what's its purpose? Its purpose is to protect the crown. She says, in this moment of changing times, dysfunction, chaos even, it is very important to protect your crown. So you don't need to do it with a veil in particular, but she urges you to consider doing that. And to also reconsider how you feel when you see other women wearing a veil over their hair. Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. Okay, what is your current relationship with Yeshua? What is your current relationship with Yeshua? She's laughing. She says they're very close. She shows me her right hand and left hand, and she's like, the right hand is Yeshua, the left hand is Mary. So it's okay. She says that they're two sides of the same source energy. By which do you mean that you're of the same soul or oversoul? She says yes, that's what she means. She says in many ways they could not be any closer, and they often work in unison, as they once did in the physical lifetime that they shared together. She says that many people do not realize that when they call on Yeshua or Jesus for assistance, she often assists too. He often invites her to provide the woman's touch. Okay, Yeshua's here as well now, and he's saying that yes, he's agreeing and saying that he wishes it wasn't so, that he's the one that people are always thinking of and speaking to, when Mary is just as potent, he says, an entity to speak with. Okay, thank you. Hopefully that solves some questions that people have. All right. That's an interesting one. Mary, what's your perception of being labelled a Catholic saint? She just pulled a face at me. She says it's not very appealing. She says, after so many years of being misaligned by those that have written the Bible and follow the Bible's teachings, why would they pray to her? She says that being saint for sinners is disrespectful to what she actually embodies. She says she doesn't mind the aspect of people working in perfume or in fragrances, calling on her to work with them. That's different, and she doesn't mind that. She's actually showing me kind of like gourd. It's like clay, very wide gourd, and inside is a very potent potent smelling herb. What's that one? Myrrh. Okay, so she's showing me myrrh. Thank you. Okay, but overall, no, she doesn't much like being called a saint. In fact, they're both saying that they don't really appreciate anything to do with definitions of saints and sinners and all of these terms, and they're saying together that is not very useful. Okay, thank you. Okay, so what is your opinion on the books written about you, Mary, such as Mary Magdalene Revealed or the Tom Kenyon channeling book? What's your opinion on these books written about you? She says out of those two books, she generally prefers the Mary Magdalene Revealed book. She says she could do without the biblical quotes and references, but she says there are so many things within it that stand to reason and that she supports. Is there anything particularly you'd like to share? She says that book gets into the depths of who she truly is in a much more comprehensive and much more informed way than the other book, she says. So the other book, the Tom Kenyon book, what would you like to say about that? She's quite funny. She keeps she's got a dry sense of humour, and she's a very strong personality, but she's kind of quite got like a dry, deprecating humour. 1 second. Yeah, she's telling me that she did not much enjoy channeling with him, that he was not the clearest of channels because he had a lot of preconceived notions that he kept being fixated on, which got in the way. She says that book is useful up to a point, but she didn't much enjoy the experience overall. She says she preferred working with the questioner rather than the channeler. I'm not sure who that was, but maybe that's useful. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is probably a good question for the interview listeners in particular. Mary, what is your connection with the Arcturians? What's your connection with the Arcturians? She says a very deep and loving connection. They are her soul family. She says she's of them as much as she is of the planet Earth. She continues to work closely with the Arcturians and values the work that they do in the ascension of life on Earth. Have you had lifetimes on Arcturus? She says a great many. She's had a great many lifetimes in that star system that has informed all of who she is and what she does. Would you like to give me an example of one of the aspects from the Arcturians? Oh. She says that the connection with Isis is fundamentally Arcturian in nature. So a lot of what she is famous for in more New Age circles is actually Arcturian. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Recording stopped.
Okay, so that feeds quite nicely into the next question I have on the list, which is actually, could you describe the benefits of practicing the Temple of Isis meditation? What's the Temple of Isis meditation? She says there's many benefits to practicing, not just practicing the Temple of Isis meditation, but of celebrating and service the goddess Isis. She says through this meditation you can feel a greater connection with Source and with all of who you are. This is different from the meditation that you described that I channeled. She says there's links, but yes, they're a little bit different. She says the key benefit is really embodying the full aspects of self to heighten the experience of being a spirit living in a human body. Deepen the connection to all that is and to source energy. Okay, thank you. I think we have one more question. Okay, it's a good one to end on. Mary, are you an ascended master? Are you an ascended master? So Yeshua is also chiming in a little bit here, as he does not enjoy this terminology too much, although it's a way for humans to understand the level which they are working at. So Mary is saying that yes, she says she's reluctant to say so, but yes, she is also on the frequency of Ascended Master. So they're returning back to what they said earlier about them both being two aspects of the same. And so they're saying, so anything that you think of Yeshua as is also reflected in the feminine in Mary. So yes. Okay, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we finish today? Just say thanks so much for doing this, and for those that are listening. So Mary Magdalene is sharing with me that she does enjoy working with me, and that she hopes to return in the future to be of the highest benefit and service. Thank you. Okay, well, thank you so much for everyone listening, and we'll be returning to our usual programming of speaking to the Pleiadian group of 9 next time. So take care of yourself. I hope if you're in the United States, that you've had a wonderful Thanksgiving week, and speak to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Into the Blue Channeling. Please do like and subscribe to receive about our upcoming episodes. See you next time.